Let's see questions related to TestNG. What is TestNG? TestNG is testing next generation. It is a framework that used to simplify and optimize your testing code. It's very, very essential, especially developing suites is a collection of test cases, and also reusing codes, and also do data-driven testing. It will simplify this stuff. It has a number of annotations that we use those annotations to simplify our code or our testing. Um, compare it with JUnit. JUnit is a framework for unit testing. Most of the time, developers use JUnit to test their own code. We use testers, we use TestNG. TestNG take advantage from JUnit. They use the idea of JUnit and develop for testers. When you compare, JUnit has some limitation, like there is no data-driven testing like approach. It doesn't have lot annotations because they only prepared it for white box testing, but TestNG is for black box testing, so it has number of features, annotations. So that's how you can explain how to use TestNG in Eclipse. It's very easy. You just simply find Maven. If you are using Maven, especially, what you do, just Google Maven TestNG dependency. NG dependency, you will get the Maven TestNG dependency somewhere like this. Copy this one. It's very easy if you are using Maven, and then go to your Eclipse and open a project, a Maven project. You have already created a Maven project, like file, new project. You know that, how to create. I don't want to show you that. And after you create Maven project, for example, if this is my project, go to POM and add into the POM file over here. Then go to here and then put somewhere here TestNG, like this. Just paste over here. This is the way how it's working. Just very easy. It's not that much difficult. Okay. List 11 annotations in TestNG. Yeah, there are a number of annotations, a lot of annotation they have, TestNG. Let's say creating one TestNG class, and let's see all of this. These are annotations, but there are also other than this. Before method, after method, before class, after class, before test, after test, before suite, after suite. There is a data provider, there is before group, after group. So there are numbers. For example, there is no before group and after group over here, because I don't know why they are not listing over here. Okay, so these are annotations that we use. This annotation to write our code. Let's see other question. What does test do? Test is used to write your test case. Test annotation, as you saw, there is before test, after test, before method, something. Test is deliberately used to write your test case. For example, tours login logout test. If you go over here, you see a test annotation. The code which you should write here is to test your system. That's, for example, finding element, writing something. It will be considered as a one test case. So don't forget that test is used to annotate to write your one test case. What does before class do? Before class is used to, if I show you here, here, login logout, TestNG login logout data driven, TestNG annotation with login logout. Let's see these annotations. If you put before class here, before class, this will be run before any test case runs. The before class, this will be run before any test case runs. If you have, for example, if you see, for example, here, I just want to log in test with data provider, priority and dependencies, TestNG annotation. Now let's see here. because it has many things over here. I have one test case over here. I have another test case over here. I have another test case all the way down there. Here, I have another test case over here. If you want to run something before running this all test cases, before this all test case, you can put some code inside before class. So this will be run one time before these things runs. Preparing something, for example, setting the property, the Chrome, starting the Chrome driver, opening the website will be just before running any test case. Then after running after that, each test case will write their own test case. Here, finding username and type A, finding username and type B. So what does before class do? To write your script so that that script will run before any test case runs. Which annotation we use to run something before each test run? It is before method. If you write something here inside before method, then before this run, this will be executed. Before this run, this will be executed. Before the next test case run, this will be executed. Before the next test case run, this will be executed. So if you write some code here inside, always it will run before this gets executed. But before class will run once for all of these test cases. Where do you find mailable and HTML reports? If you want to find mailable and HTML report, for example, if you are running TestNG, especially if you want to run TestNG totally, you should run it as a project, and then when you run the project, you just come over here, run as, and then run it like build, Maven build. After running that, you will get output here, the test output over here. This is a TestNG output. So there are good outputs, fail things you will get over here. And emailable report, it says, if you click emailable report, you will see how many test cases you run this much methods, and scenario 4, you skip nothing, you fail 5, this much something, login logout, this one is passed, this one is fail. It will show you exactly what type of data we use for each test case. Login logout test 3, we use this data to test, something like that. So this is mailable. If you want to open the website, you can click that and see the website also, this format. You can click test, you have this test, and time elapsed. You can click over here, report output, and ignore. It says this is match method one failed, for pass, it says. So you can see such stuffs over here this way. So this is a web-based format, and that's so this way you can get report. Where do you get report? But you have to run it, the complete program, I mean as a whole project, and then you will get in test output. And you will get emailable and index HTML. Skipping something. Now let's back to here. How do you apply tests using test suite in TestNG? How to apply test suite in TestNG? The test suite is a group of test cases. If you want to apply test suite in TestNG, what you do, for example, I'm just seeing this one. I have this test case, don't forget, one TestNG, which will do login, logout, data-driven test using TestNG. It will do login, logout using data-driven. And here also I have a registration to back in the database, checking my database. This will do registration back in database test. It will connect to the database and then do testing using this one. And also there's a one TestNG annotation with login, logout with some example without data provider. There is also others. If I need to run these two together, these three together, if I need to run something over here in the middle, for example, I need to run this one only. I need to run only this one. I don't need to run others. I need to run only the first test case. I don't need to run this one. If you want to take some parts, run here and here, not here and here and here, you have to use suite master. Here is the suite master, the XML file. How do you create this suite master? You can just simply right click new file and then create that one, the file, and write something. Or when you create a TestNG class for the first time, just give a name here, suite master, for first time. Don't do number of times, just one time only. Then you will get something like this. So you'll get by default some data over here. But then this is the way how we use the suite master. What you say test, you see, you define a test over here. The test will be in over here. If you see, it will be in here. Here is closing, here is opening. Inside the test, I have added how many classes? This class. What are priority and depends on passing parameter. Where are these? Here. Passing parameter and priority depends on are added inside this test case. And also, if you see this one, a new test case, a test suite. Here is the whole is a test suite. We call it the whole. This is a test suite. This all is a test suite. So inside, I can create a test case like this. So my test case will be combined of two classes. My test case will be combined with two classes, and it has parameter. One test case will be combined with this all these classes. So that's what the suite means. You can define like this. How do you apply test suite using TestNG? Using test suite XML file and writing the code like test suite, closing, and inside test case, and then class, and write the class whatever you want inside. How to run only at test method which are in the same group? Okay, you can run in the same group. It's saying you that how can I run same group of test cases? Now look, if I take you here, I have some test grouping samples here. Test Selenium, let's see, group this. In this case, look, how many test cases I have? I have test methods. How many test methods I have? I have this much test method. And I group this one, this program is grouped into Selenium test. This one is also grouped into any code you write here is grouped into Selenium test. This one is grouped into database. So any database I will write over here. Another database, this is for Oracle, this is for MySQL. So database, these two are in database. This one is both in Selenium database and Selenium. So don't forget this. Now, if I need to run only this from here, if I run it directly like this, it will run the whole, but my target is running only database part or running only this part. So if I need to run only database part, this will be run, and also after group will be run this database part. Before group also will be run. Now, to run this is better you to use group suite master. And then how do you define a suite master? Easy. Define your suite. It will be automatically defined. Here is suite. Define your test case. Your test case will be in one test case. If you have more test case, define your test here. And then inside your test, define class. Here is the class, will be open and close. Inside your class, add the TestNG classes. Which one is added here? Test Selenium and test group. Where is test group and test Selenium? Here is added. If you do like this, automatically the whole test case will be run. Our main target is running by group. So if you see this one, this sample, it will not run the whole test methods which are written inside here. Rather, I have added above class, I have added only run these groups. You see, Selenium test. If I need to run database test, I just simply, if I need to run only database test over here, what I do, I just simply write the code something like this. The same thing over here. How can I do? Just simply, I will come here and write it. How do? Just simply, I will just come over here and then I will create a group. Group is created. And then inside group, I will just simply run. I will add run, run, uh, run. Run is created, and inside run, I will add simply include. From these classes, test cell name and test group. Where is test element? Here. Test group and test cell name. And then I will say here include. What shall I include? Just database. Finish. I have included database here inside, and then close it. This is XML structure, how to close. Then this test case will be run only for database. That means this test case will be run only for database. So this is the way how we do grouping. So this test case will be run selecting only database groups from these classes, and this one select only cell name test. So you can group like this. That's the question, how to run only test methods which are in the same group. What do you understand by a test depends on method? Test 2, test 3. I will not show you the code, but when you see this line, what do you understand? Just simply, it says you the test that I'm going to write under here, this annotation, will be run only if, it says depends on method, only if these two methods run. Only if these two methods run. If these two methods fail, do not run this one. That means if these two methods fail, do not run. If you see a sample test, it depends on grouping, test group, priority, dependency, tools, registration, login, logout, data, backend test, tools, login, registration, priority, and depends here. If you see over here, look, this will be run. You see, this will be run only if the methods email2 and only if email2 runs. Where is email2? Find email2 over here. Here is email2, maybe a little bit down. Here is. That will be run only if this runs. If this fail, this will not run. This will be skipped. That's what this line means. Depends on method. You can depend on a group, you can depend on a class. What is the default execution order TestNG follow? What does TestNG priority 5.2? The default order TestNG follow is alphabetical order. In a sense, if you just run this one, automatically TestNG TestNG annotations. If you run this one, automatically which one run first? If you see these two, login logout test for 1, login logout test for 4. This will be run first. It's not because of the order you put. It is just because of spelling or grammatical, I mean alphabetical order. If you have a test case, for example, here, if you say it A, this will be run before of this. So TestNG runs based on the alphabetical order. But if you want to change that one, you can do priority. You can do priority. Add priority 5 means this will be run at next to the 4 runs. Priority 1, this will be run the second level. I mean 2. If you have priority 1, that will be run. Priority 5, you see priority 5. If you have 2 priority 5s like this, alphabetically will be ordered between these because these two are priority. So you can add priorities. Priority 1, which one run first? This one. Second, this one. Third, this one. Fourth, this one. 5, either this or this. Now check the spelling. Email test 1. What says phone? So this will be run. E comes first than V. So when you see this stuff, just explain like that. It will run TestNG run alphabetically, but if you want to change that, say priority or under test. What does test enabled equals to false do? this will not run. If you make it enable equals to false, it will not be run. It will be just simply skipped. So you can add sometimes if you want to skip something, just you can skip. Means if you add somewhere here, there's nothing. Just if I add here simply enable, if I just simply add here enable, just simply enable equals to false. If you say that, then this will not run. This will not run. Let me write it again. If you make it like this will not run. This will be skipped. So you can do this way. If you keep like this, by default is true. Enable true. Okay, let's see next one. What does data provider do? Oh, data provider is used to, it's very powerful TestNG annotation that is used to do data driven testing, especially like login logout registration. It's very powerful. I can show you that. Just simply look login logout data driven testing. You see, this is a data provider. You are not a data provider this way. You store your data like this, and then you connect this one to your test case. What's the name of DP correct password? Find DP correct password here. It's annotated to this one. So this will be run based on this data. I'm using this one username and password. This will be passed to here. So it's very, very powerful data provider. Data provider is used to do data driven testing in TestNG. That's short answer. What does at parameters do? Show in example. Yeah, you can pass data using data provider, we said, and also you can use parameters sometimes to pass one to something parameter, not like a huge data, but one to like some parameter. You can use parameters. I can show you here parameters, priority passing, yeah, parameters. If you see over here, if you want, this is my before test method. So my before test method, I would like to decide, shall I open Internet Explorer or Firefox or Chrome? To decide, I don't want to write the code and change here. I don't want to write Firefox something, fix it over here. Rather, I will, from my suite master, I will send a message to run through Firefox. From here, I will send through Chrome, something like that. So I just have added on the top of it parameter. This parameter will be passed through this browser name and username. For example, this is username and browser name. I said just simply I'm passing two parameters. This browser name will be used inside here. You see, the first parameter will pass to the browser. You have to set data here, variables. So the second name will be passed to here. So by default, I put optional Firefox. If I am not passing parameter, Firefox will be taken. But the browser, I'm now using browser. If browser equals to Firefox, then I will set here to run the Firefox means driver dot. I will write the code like this: driver equals to new Firefox driver. Finish. If it is Firefox, that's what I'm saying you. If it is Internet Explorer, I will change that one to driver equals to new Internet Explorer. Finish. I will change to that one. If it is Chrome, I will change to here driver to new Chrome driver, Internet Explorer driver, Chrome driver. I'll change like this. So that's what I'm saying you over here. So I will not just simply use only one driver based on my input. So how can I use? I can pass. By default is Firefox. How to pass? Parameters. Where this value I'm going to pass? Here. For example, here. If you come suite master here, if you see over here, I can pass, you see, parameter. So whenever I call this method here, passing parameter, this is passing parameter. When I call this, I just on the top I put parameter here. Run this one based on browser name Chrome. You pass like this: parameter name, browser name, Chrome. The second value is this one. Next time I change here, you see, I can change for the other one, I can change something like that. This is the way how we can pass parameter. So in short answer, what does parameters do? To pass values from suite master. To pass values from suite master. Showing example, as I said you, just simply annotate your method, passing parameter, annotate over here, any method you want, put the variable name here, and then this will be passed to here. This is the variable name. You have to use this name inside your suite master. The same name, don't forget, here. Then that will, this Chrome will be passed as a value to your browser name, and this browser name will pass to here, and then action will be done based on that. Okay, explain the following. Let's explain. It says parameter name, browser name, value, Chrome. The one we saw it now, yeah. This one is passing value from suite master to a variable browser name, and value will be passed as Chrome. That's it. That means I have some TestNG class which use method which is annotated by by parameter which will take a value when I set something like this, a browser name, and this value will pass to that. Okay, what is trading in computer science? Trading is, in computer science, it's just general question. Trading means running programs or tasks parallelly and in a queue format. We call it trading. Computer CPU runs one thing at a time. But you can play music, you can surf a website, you can chat somewhere, you can read something, you can just do number of tasks. With this, it seems that it's running on the same time, but because CPU is fast and running through trading technique. So trading means doing multiple tasks into a queue and in a parallel way. That we call it trading. You can take like highway, something like that. When you drive highway, there is a 5-line highway, something that is trading. So just take that example. Trading means running multiple tasks parallelly and in a queue format. As example, you can take highways. Highways have 5 lines running at the same time, cars running, driving through, vehicles running through that same time. Like CPU does the same thing. So what is let's come to here, why we learn, why we just put this question over here, just for this purpose. Explain the following: suite name, suite, parallel, method, thread count 10. Thread count 10 means this is parallel. It says this is in the suite master. The suite name is suite, the name of the suite, and then parallel means please make it parallel on a method level, not in a class level, not in a test level. Make it parallel in a method level. 10 methods can be run at the same time, not more than 10. If you have number of methods waiting, just make 10 methods run same time. So what does that mean? Let me open suite master and show you. Look, this is a suite master, yeah, isn't it? The whole is one suite master. So inside my suite master, I have one test. Don't forget, this is all is one suite master. Inside my suite master, I have one test here. Don't forget, I have one test here, 2 tests here, 3 tests here. Now, if I say here test, then 10 means if you have 10 test cases, if you have 100 tests like this, they will at least 10 test cases will be run at the same time. Trading means like that, but it is now in method level. What is in method level means? Let me open this test. You see inside this test there is a class. You can have 2, 3, 4 classes. So inside this class, now which class I have added? Priority and dependent on. Where is here? Priority and dependent on. If you open here, there are number of methods running. Now those methods, that means those methods, you see, this is one method, this is one method, this all is one method. So to run this all method, don't wait one to each other. Of course, you have to keep priority too, but you don't need to wait. When you get a chance, just try to run up to 5 methods at the same time. So I'm trading at the method level. You can change this one at a test level. You can change this one at a class level. If you make it a class, here is a class, isn't it? One class here. Here is one class. You see that? Here is another class. Here is another class. 3 classes. So means you can, when TestNG run this, this all 3 classes will run same time. So you will save time. You will save time. So in short, in Suite Master, you can set the suite trading count to a number. That means the Suite Master will run that much at the same time and will save your time. But how these counts depend on, if you say method, it will be a method level. If it is class, it will be a class level. If it will say test, it will be a test level. So it will save your time by doing that. Show your best approach for login logout test using TestNG annotation. If I need to do login logout test here, if I need to do login logout test here, my best approach with different username and password, if I need to do like this with correct credential, is like this. Yeah, with incorrect credential, this is correct credential. With incorrect credential, for example, putting something like this. With incorrect credential, putting something like this. If I need to do this login logout test, my best approach is like this. I will show you that. My best approach is like this. Let's see login logout test data driven here. My best approach, put data provider with correct credential, look DP correct credential, and put your data over here. Correct data, don't add incorrect data. Don't add those data which you feel login will not be successful, but add all data that you feel login should be successful. Then put that over here. And then you also put for incorrect credentials here, incorrect credential. It's better to put those correct and incorrect credential values separately. So this is incorrect, means by this data, I don't expect new tools to get login success. So DP incorrect credentials are here. DP incorrect credentials are over here. Now, what I do, I just create a test case for each, and I will link. So DP incorrect credential with password, incorrect credentials is better to say. DP incorrect credentials. If I say like this, I have to link this one with my test case here. So my test case will do login logout test over here. What it does, it takes a value, send it to username, password, and click login and assert. Over here, assert. And then assert if sign in is okay, sign on is okay. Because if it is incorrect credential, sign on will not be available. So I will use sign on okay. If it is okay, I will pass, or else I will make here fail. I will make here fail. For the correct credential, the same thing I will use. This is correct data. So this one is connected to my test case data provider. And I put using those values, username and password. I send username, I send password, I click it. And then I just assert if it is sign off enabled or not, because I'm expecting sign off to be there because I need login success. So if it is okay, then I will click sign off, or else it will fail by itself, because if it's not finding this, it will fail. Our test case will fail. So I divide username and password, correct credential and incorrect credential with different data provider. I write a test method for each. I link them and I run this. And also in before class, I set this one. In before class, I set the Chrome, the property, opening the Chrome browser if I need, and also setting timeout and opening new tools. This is just will be done one time before this run. Not only before this, also before this run, just one time. And finally, after class, I just add quit, just to close. This is my best approach that I use to do login logout test in using TestNG with using data provider. In short, create a data provider with correct credential, create a data provider with incorrect credential, create a test method, annotated test method, which will be linked with correct credential, and write the whole test steps over there related to the correct credential. And also write a test case which is for incorrect credential and annotate with that data provider. Write before test all startups like setting, opening Chrome, and opening the new tools, and write on after test method, after class method, your quit. So you will get a report something like this. So you will see some fail, you will see some pass over here. These are the things with correct credential and incorrect credential values. This is the way how I am doing. Explain the suite master of XML file, and click here. It says, let's click and see the XML, the suite master file. This is the suite master file. Let us try to explain it. Here, let me explain you. This is an XML file, of course. This shows you XML file, and UFT is a writing technique. This is the English word. Suite name, the complete one. This we call it the suite name, the complete one. So it's better you explain over here, but I will explain you over here because I just copied over here. Let me show you here because it will be easy and fast to understand because it has color, something like that. So let me open here. This is the one I asked you to explain. Let me check it first. Yeah, this is the one. Now let me explain you because it has colors. So the name of the suite means the whole this. What suite? Suite is the number of test cases. Yeah. So the name of the suite, what is that? Suite name. I said suite. You can call it. This is login database something test. That's up to you. No problem. You can say suite database login test, something like that. That's up to you. No problem. So you have this. And then I am just collapsing the suite to make it clear. Then anything, it has a 10 thread, 10 methods can run at the same time. So you will save time this way to run things parallelly. So trading is saying true, trade count is saying true. If you don't need trading, you can add trading false, then it will be disabled. Then inside my trade, I'm passing parameter. Look, at a trade level, at a suite level, I'm passing the browser name is Internet Explorer. That's it. So at a suite level, if anything needs some parameter, it has some parameter. If any method which has annotated with parameter with browser name, it will take Internet Explorer. So inside the suite, I have number of test cases. You see, I have number of tests. One test, two tests. Here is test name. That's up to you. Inside the test, you can add parameter. Here I'm changing the parameter. At a suite level, I said browser name equals to Internet Explorer, but now here I change it to. So this will be applied. This will be applied. Chrome will replace Internet Explorer. So the others will take this one. So for this test, Chrome will be the one which will be taken, and then these are parameters. Then the class here is the number of classes I'm including. So I include the class login test, Where is login test? Here is login test is included. Or what else? But inside login test, I just simply include only a method which has a name, this one, login test with correct credential. I didn't have added other methods, so this method only will be run. That means, as you see here. So I'm not running the whole method which is under login test. That means I'm selective here. So, but if you come over here, priority and dependence on, where is priority? Priority and depends on, the whole method which is in here will be run. That means the whole method which is in passing parameter will be run also here, but only for this one login test, only this method will be executed. And if you now test is finished, one test is finished over here, then the other test is over here. So the other test, which one will be applied? If we have a method which will take from here, which will take the browser name, Internet Explorer will be applied, and login test, priority and data open something, these three will be run, these three will be run, and then all method will be run. There is no filtering here. The same thing if you come over here, the parameter name is changed, username value is changed. For this case, it was here nothing. Now here any parameter, any annotation which has a variable username, the value will be like this, and this all classes will be run, these all classes. And let me collapse this one, and if I come over here, the same thing is running. So this is the architecture. So how many tests I have inside here? 1, 2, 3, 4 tests. Each test has included number of classes that TestNG class I have created. And inside a TestNG class, you can also filter parts, like filtering part. If I need to run some groups part only, I have to add here groups here. The only thing, just simply add groups. These are classes. Inside this class, if you want to run only part of group, you will add part of group over here. So I didn't have written over here, but you can see grouping over here. Here is grouping. If you want to run some part of group, you just simply write something group like this, and it will be applied. That means if I just make it to, let me add somewhere here in the end, this class to run this. When you run this class too, please use this groups priority and annotation, passing parameter, priority and annotation, grouping, test group. Oh yeah, just simply passing parameter. If I need to add something, I can copy and write new test case like this. This is a test, yeah? Just simply copy this, and then let me add another group like this, like this. This is now test case 5, I can say. And then change this one, it's not login. Where is that in my case is, these are things I need to. Grouping is the one. So I will change the here grouping. Here it will be grouping, and also this will be one of these. For example, grouping test group, and also what about this one? The same thing. I will remove this, and grouping. I'm just putting the paths, grouping and test selenium dot selenium. That's all. So if I need to apply a group, then I will write something like this. Just I don't want to type again, and let me simply copy and paste. Where do you add? If I keep like this, the whole method will be run. But if I need to select only groups, I just write over here, and then include only database. From these two method, from these two on to classes, only database groups will be run. This is the way how you explain. Let me show you. Is there a database over here? Here is database. This will be run. This will be run. This will be run. Is there something here? Which one will be run? There is no database over here, so no problem for this. This one, we don't need this one. Just simply delete this, I don't need. Then if I just run seed master, then it will run that way. That means here is suite master, and just simply if I just copy this one, the path, in case when I run it, I have to say run as. Sometimes here you have to choose the suite master over here, and then you have to run it. Parallel is a test method, method, known value of attribute parallel at suite level method. Okay, just we just simply maybe test group ID. Let's see, is it test group ID? No, there's no test group ID. That's why it's failing. There is only grouping, isn't it? So just simply remove this grouping, because I copied, that's why I copied from here. Now I'm going to run. You see, now it's running, and how many tests I have? I should expect how many tests? 5. Here are 5, yeah? These are 5. If you go to the fifth one, for example, only test connect SQL and test connect Oracle runs. The other Selenium something will not run because it is out of our group. It is out of our group. But if you see the code, the grouping code, test group, there are other Selenium parts. So you see, you can see the result. It doesn't have such things. It doesn't have such thing. Only the fifth one only has a SQL part. If I change this one, for example, if I just remove the group, only, or if I include the let me copy and paste again. Not database. What else does a group here? Let me see the group. It says Selenium test. Yeah, I'm copying this. If I include this group, then it will be run. If I make it like this and run it, then it will automatically include it over here. Now look at. If you minimize over here, and if you just collapse this test case 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you choose this one, you see, all SQL and Selenium runs. So that's the way how you can limit. So if you just remove this, only database will run. So this way, just explain. I think we finish all the question over here. Let's see what's left over here. Yeah, just we finished. Just try to answer that way. Thank you very much, and see you on next video.